huge thing came out, like those artistic marks came out, and it was like, wow, they accepted me, you know, and now I feel like, okay, now I can really be myself, and it's always that first step, though. Like yesterday was that first step, and I've got through that, and now the long program is just going to be the, I guess, the evolvement from what I did last night, and I really want to do everything in the program for myself.
I skated good, really safe, and nothing was wrong, and then I had a standing ovation, so that's what I wanted most. And then to come second, I didn't really expect that, no.
I felt sorry for him last night. It was almost so bad for him because, I don't know, basically he's my favorite skater, and I have to compete against him, and it's not very often that you're ahead of your favorite skater. So I'm sure it's really tough for him right now.
I'm in an unusual situation, certainly not one that I've never been in before, but just not in the last few years. So it's like the good old days where you're behind in figures and have to come back.
The man who would be king. He just might be a Canadian champion tonight as well. Elvis Stojko has arrived in Northlands Coliseum, preparing for Lillehammer, and on the verge of a national crown. And welcome to Northlands Coliseum tonight, everyone. Edmonton, Alberta, playing host to the 1994 Royal Bank Canadian Figure Skating Championships. A new attendance record for this event set tonight, 17,100 in Northlands tonight, jam-packed, sold out. And I'm Rod Black. Good evening, everyone. If you think the Olympics are only 4 weeks away, well, the spirit is living right here tonight in Edmonton. Yes, the Olympics only 4 weeks away from tonight, and already everyone talking about the qualification, looking down the road. Maybe some people looking down the road a little too far. Already we have had some berths decided. In case you have missed it, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler last night, they were magic on this ice. They captured their 5th national title, and they are on their way to Lillehammer. They, of course, are the world champions. Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz finishing second last night. The newcomers making their way to Lillehammer, along with Jamie Salé and Jason Turner. This afternoon, the dance competition was held, and Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz successfully defended their national title. Only one dance team representing Canada, and Shaylin and Victor are that team. Now an update on a story that continues to spellbind the skating world, the Nancy Kerrigan story. 3 men have been arrested and charged with a conspiracy to assault Kerrigan last week at the U.S. Nationals in Detroit. Now, United States skating officials apparently are contemplating asking Tonya Harding to withdraw from the Olympic Games based on all of the speculation that Harding could be involved. The 3 men who have been charged have said that Harding and her estranged husband, Mike Gilhooly, have been involved from the start. Lawyers for Harding and Gilhooly are attempting to ask the two to take a lie detector test in order to clear their name. It's a shocking story. It gets more complicated by the hour. Now another shocker, and it happened last night. A much different nature, of course. Kurt Browning. The headlines today in Edmonton, Browning bombs. And that may be a little harsh because he did have a bad day at the office last night, but it wasn't the best start to the Canadian Championships for Kurt Browning. He finished 4th in the technical program. Elvis Stojko leading the way after just a brilliant performance last night. He slipped a little bit at the end, but Kurt Browning did not land a triple axel, had some problems with his program, and he sits 4th. Sebastian Britten looking for one of 3 Olympic spots, along with Marcus Kristensen, and you can see this is the way this will unfold. Jeffrey Langdon is sitting 5th. 3 places going to the Olympic Games. A number of skaters could be involved in that. Joining us, President of the Canadian Figure Skating Association, Doug Steele. Welcome tonight. What a great night here.
Thank you, Rod. Yes, there's a great crowd here. Very exciting.
I think a lot of people want to know, if Kurt Browning doesn't finish in the top 3, will he go to the Winter Olympics?
No, he won't. We have negotiated with the Canadian Olympic Association. We have worked with our own Canadian Board of Directors, and the rules of the game have been that the top 3 finishers at tonight's finals in the Canadian men's will qualify to the Olympic Games in Lillehammer.
I think everyone last night was a little shocked by the results. Your thoughts?
Well, I think in an Olympic year, there's a lot of pressure on the athletes. Kurt had the unfortunate situation of drawing very first out of all of the men to skate. I think that may have been a little unnerving for him. I think perhaps it was a shock even to his own system to know that he had blown 2 of the very compulsory elements and is now sitting in 4th place.
All right, thanks for this tonight, and enjoy the night. It's going to be a great one.
Thank you very much, Rod.
The president of the Canadian Figure Skating Association, Mr. Doug Steele. Kurt Browning now faced with a challenge he hasn't faced with. Certainly in 1992, he didn't even have to go to the Canadians that year because of injury. This time, he is in 4th place in the technical program as he looks ahead to Lillehammer. Brian Orser will be joining us in Lillehammer, and he is also joining us tonight for this free skate. Let's join Brian and Debbie Wilkes downstairs.
I guess the simplest way to solve this issue is for Kurt Browning to have the skate of his life, Brian. You've been there. What's it like?
Exactly. It's not a great position to be in, but right now he's had 24 hours to reframe, regroup, and to go into this like I did in Budapest in 1988. I knew going into the long program I didn't have a chance to win unless Brian Boitano was 3rd in the free program. That wasn't going to happen, and I went out there just for the love of skating. I just realized I love to skate, and I'm going to go out there and have the best time of my life and do the best I possibly can. It worked, and I had my best performance ever.
To look at it from Elvis's point of view, he can hardly lose. Is that the way you see it?
Well, I've been in this position too as well, and it was at the Canadian Championships, and it's a great position to be in. You know that you don't have anybody on your tail, and that you can just go out and skate well. He's been great all week,
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to some nice performances tonight.
How important do you think the long program will be to the overall scheme? Tell me about the mathematics.
Well,
Can Kurt win?
Exactly. Mathematically, it's he'll need Elvis to be 3rd in the free program, and Kurt will have to win. It's a little iffy if that'll happen, but I think the bottom line, the thing is that he's looking forward right now is that it's a good performance and to go out and kind of redeem himself a little bit.
Well, and Kurt's looking to do exactly the same thing, and although we were all very surprised with the outcome of the technical program, Rod, there was certainly no panic anywhere in the skating world.
And we'll see if that's translated tonight. Kurt was visibly shaken after last night. He looked much more composed today. He was joking around a little bit, but he does look very, very focused. What at first appeared to be an Elvis versus Kurt showdown, there's Kurt Browning, is now an Elvis versus Kurt versus Sebastian versus Marcus versus a whole bunch as the Olympic Games get closer. The free skate moves closer tonight. Let's take you back to last night and show you exactly what went wrong with Kurt Browning's technical program. I would put it at about 6.1 on the Richter scale. The hometown hero returns. Carolina, Alberta's Kurt Browning, 4-time Canadian and world champion.
for the turns in between. Wow, 2 elements down.
Kurt Browning starts to the Canadian Championships. This won't be an easy one for him now. This is not the way that Kurt Browning, Debbie, wanted to start these Canadian Championships.
I know his eye is a month ahead to Lillehammer, but I don't think anybody has ever had an Elvis Stojko coming up behind him either. He really needed a clean skate. It was tough, the draw. He drew first place in the entire technical program event for men. That's always tough because you have to shorten your warm-up. You know, you got to get in it right away.
But he is the world champion.
Lots of experience there to draw from.
Kurt obviously looks very disappointed. There is his coach, Louis Stong. He, of course, moved to Toronto to train under Stong. What happened here, Deb?
Triple axel seemed to go fine. The body started to break, the left shoulder pulling around, the free foot not getting back into landing position. But the double axel, a jump that he uses to warm up with. Again, the upper part of the body, the edge caught, landing very far up on the toe. Wow.
That sort of tells the story.
Seems like Kurt didn't even know whether he had completed the double toe. He just asked Louis, did I do the double toe?
Some consolation from a young fan. Look at the 4.9 for required elements. I don't recall ever seeing Kurt Browning receive that low of a mark.
Well, 2 major deductions.
Presentation marks will be much higher, and they are, but still, Kurt Browning has dug himself a big hole in his hometown. That was last night. This is tonight. Kurt Browning is still the same old character, however. The free skate still to come. Last night's technical highlights. Some more of that when we return to Edmonton in a moment. outside in Edmonton tonight, but very warm inside. Getting warmed up is Elvis Stojko, 4 times a runner-up at these Canadian Championships, looking for his first national title en route to what he hopes will be an Olympic medal or even perhaps Olympic gold. We'll see more from Elvis in a few moments, but let's go back to last night. More from the technical skate and the man who followed Kurt Browning.
Former teammate from the Royal Glenora, Marcus Kristensen, living now in Edmonton, but originally from Toronto. Oh, hot triple flip, double toe.
He was 3rd last year, Debbie. 3rd this year. Puts him in Norway. Up and hungry Marcus Kristensen.
New technical program this year done by Kevin Cottam. The music to Prince.
Marcus from Edmonton, Alberta, hence the great reaction, but more of a great reaction because of all of this.
Oh, the combination was breathtaking. Triple flip, a real hard triple jump, and he continued on to do the triple Lutz jump, considered next to the triple axel the most difficult. He got right into that.
For Marcus Kristensen for required elements.
Marcus finished 10th at the World Championships last year. He has never been to the Olympic Games. If he skates like that in the free skate, Debbie, he'll be there.
That's the plan.
Required elements marks, low 5.3, high 5.6. Presentation marks around the same grade, and Marcus Kristensen leads his buddy Kurt Browning after the technical program. 3 skates still to come tonight. And up next, hello, Sebastian, Britten. Brossard, Quebec is his hometown. And in a moment, we'll watch his technical program from last night in Northlands Coliseum. has the fastest feet in skating. This is 23-year-old Sebastian Britten.
Sebastian has the whole thing. If it's a good night for him, the choreography, the style, the elements, although there is no triple axel, solid.
Sebastian recently finished third at the Nations Cup.
Beautiful setup for a triple left jump. Spread eagle. Wow. Wow. The consummate performance. Sebastian can do everything. The combination, first rate, triple flip, double toe. Always keeping in mind the body style, the body line. The triple Lutz setup with the spread eagle here was outstanding. Very little telegraphing of the jump, completed beautifully. And the footwork, too. Brilliant, creative, fast, humorous, using every edge, every turn, very neat feet, gaining speed throughout. Absolutely what it's all about.
These marks will have a huge bearing on the intensity of the long program and the battle that will be waged. Required elements marks for Sebastian Britten. As low as a 5.2, but high a 5.7. Presentation marks will be higher, and they are 5.7, 5.8. Sebastian Britten is in second place, and Kurt Browning, the world champion, will be fourth, heading to the free skate. Might be his night in Edmonton. Last night certainly was. The technical program and the Stojko Express dazzled.
The next competitor from the American Skating Club, Stojko.
4 times he has been a runner-up at the Nationals. 3 times to Kurt Browning, once to Michael Slipchuk. This could be the year that Elvis Stojko becomes Canadian champion. A lot will depend on this technical program. But the final 20 seconds.
It's okay. He's got the spin done. He's got the rotations done.
Elvis Stojko, second in the world, second in Canada for so long. Looking ahead to the Olympics.
And he should be first tonight. I'm not sure why skaters insist on doing the most difficult element as the first one in the program. It sure starts it off with a bang. For Elvis, the triple axel, beautiful. Fast into the double toe. And the individual triple jump, Elvis chose the Lutz. But whatever happened going into that final spin, is it because it's hockey ice, a little harder? The edge gone.
Good point about that. The ice isn't quite as thick as it normally is at Canadians, correct?
That's right. Hockey ice generally much harder.
The required elements marks ranging from 5.5 to 5.9. These marks combined with the artistic presentation, the artistic impression, the presentation marks will be enough.
You know, really strange how the judges arrived at those marks.
The presentation marks not as good as Kurt Browning, but certainly those marks will put Elvis Stojko on top of the leaderboard after this technical program. And that's where it stayed last night. Elvis Stojko heading into tonight's free skate on the verge of his first Canadian title. Sebastian Britten, Marcus Kristensen, Kurt Browning, Jeffrey Langdon, all in a fight for Olympic spots, and certainly Kurt Browning in dire need of a good performance tonight as he prepares for Lillehammer. Stojko getting ready. So is Browning. Elvis, the martial artist. His Bruce Lee story still to come tonight. There we go. Elvis Stojko, leader after the technical program. Your thoughts? You were about that far away from one of your best programs I've seen you skate in a long time.
Well, that felt pretty good. The crowd was behind me the whole way. I enjoyed that performance, and push, and I guess I pushed a little too hard into that camel spin, but I got up right away. I knew that I had to complete the element, and I went for it right away.
I want to ask you about Kurt Browning, skating first, watching what he did or what he didn't do, puts a little bit of onus and maybe a chance for you to really take charge.
Well, I knew Kurt had a bit of a stumble on the combo, but I didn't realize he had stumbled on the axle as well until near the time when I was about to go on, but I was so focused on my own job, it didn't really matter. It's the thing that I have to do, and that's my job.
Triple axle combo off the start. Let's talk about it.
Okay, well, it was feeling pretty good, relaxed. I just wanted to let it to flow a little bit, and when I went to Lillehammer, I kind of pushed it a little bit too hard, but here I just let her soar, and there's a toe on the end.
You won that event in Lillehammer. What kind of a psychological advantage is it for you to win the Canadian Championship here and then go to the Olympics?
Well, I think it's a big bonus to go into the Lillehammer as #1, because I think that the judges and the people that are there will realize that they're looking at the #1 guys from each country, the contenders. And, you know, Kurt's never out. He's always coming back. So it'd be nice to have that going into the Hammer.
It's going to be an alley fight, isn't it, into this free skate?
Definitely. There's Marcus skated well, and a number of guys out there that can do it. So I'm ready for the challenge.
Elvis Stojko, congratulations, and the best of luck in the free skate.
Thank you.
That is still to come. It is Kurt's home, Edmonton, Alberta, but yes, there are some Elvis supporters, a lot of them, as a matter of fact, right across Canada. He's smiling right now. He's getting ready. The long program, the free skate, center stage tonight in Canada.
Brian Orser was a real battler. All of his life, he seemed to be locked into a head-to-head competition with somebody who was just as good and some days better. And that famous career came to a dramatic climax in the 1988 Winter Olympic Games right here in Calgary's famous Saddle Dome. This quiet, soft-spoken boy from Penetang helped shake Canada out of the doldrums, for we had won only one world medal from 1974 to 1983, when Brian Pokar won the bronze medal in 1983 at the Copenhagen Worlds. All eyes were on the free skating Orser as he won Canadian year after year, but he was chasing and second to United States Scotty Hamilton, 4-time world champion and 2-time Olympics champion. In Sarajevo, with 5 triples and 1 triple axel, he still lost to Hamilton. Brian Boitano took over from Scotty Hamilton, and now the Battle of the Bryans became the hottest competition in the world. Orser failed in 1986 in Geneva, where the gold was there for the asking, and the rematch was to be on Boitano's home territory, Cincinnati, in 1987. Orser didn't miss this time and became only the 3rd Canadian male to win the world gold medal. This set the stage for 2 more great nights in the Battle of the Bryans. Boitano insisted on meeting Orser at the Skate Canada Championships in Calgary, an Olympic preview. Orser won again. That brilliant night of the Olympics will never be beaten for sheer skating drama alone. Boitano skated brilliantly, the performance of his career. As 20,000 fans rattled the Saddle Dome, Brian Orser was on the line. One flawless move after another, pure poetry in motion. Could this be it? And then in midair, he turned a triple axel into a double for safety's sake, and that one move cost him the gold medal. Boitano topped the podium again, and Brian Orser took his 2nd Olympic silver medal. That ended one of the longest-running battles in the history of sport.
into that dynasty that they were in the 80s before he went to Los Angeles. And, of course, bring the crowds to Northlands Coliseum during the hockey season. It's good to hear and good news for many Oiler fans in this city that it appears the Oilers will be staying. And the crowd here tonight kind of reminiscent of a few years ago when the Oilers won the Stanley Cup, their last Stanley Cup, 1990 as a matter of fact, led by Mark Messier. Tonight, however, it's ice skating and the men's free skate still to come tonight. And yes, there is a look at the Oilers' reign in the NHL, and this year they're struggling a bit on the ice, but they certainly have a team of the future, it appears, with some of the young stars like Jason Arnott on their team. Another famous building across town in Edmonton is the house that, or the rink that, if you prefer, Kurt built. Kurt Browning, the Royal Glenora Club in Edmonton. Many people have heard about Royal Glenora, maybe have never seen it. This is where Kurt Browning really began developing as a Canadian champion under Michael Uranic. This is the entrance to the Royal Glenora Club. It helped house many champions, as a matter of fact. Still a home to some great young skaters and skaters like Marcus Kristensen. And we'll see him, of course, later tonight. Christy Yamaguchi developed here into a world and Olympic champion. Kurt, of course, made this Royal Glenora famous for his exploits as a four-time world champion. Of course, he now trains at the Granite Club in Toronto under Louis Stong. Some of the reminders of Kurt's presence and the glory that he brought to Royal Glenora during his years on the ice here in Edmonton. Kurt, of course, is from nearby Caroline, Alberta, and he is the hometown hero. And last night, they gave him some polite applause, but everyone here, I'm sure, and around Alberta were literally concerned with what happened to Kurt last night on the ice. But as I mentioned off the top of the show, everybody can't be on their game at all times, and maybe we'll see a different Kurt Browning, the real Kurt Browning, tonight. That is Louis Stong, his head coach, and of course he also coaches José Chouinard, the Canadian champion, and Karen Preston, who will be skating tomorrow. And Louis has worked with Kurt since Kurt moved to Toronto, and it was a big move for Kurt, he said. It really helped develop him. Sandra Bezic still works with him, of course, but it is a different Kurt Browning. As Kurt mentioned last year at the Canadians in Hamilton, things changed for him when he moved from west to east. A lot of questions will be answered tonight. Will Kurt be able to bounce back? Will Elvis win a Canadian championship? Who will be on the Olympic team? Let's get to the men's free skate tonight, and let's bring in Debbie Wilkes and Brian Orser.
First man to take the ice in the men's free skate, Jean-Francois Hébert, 21 years old, from Warwick, Quebec. Quite an outstanding up-and-comer, real youthful exuberance, and he does the TA word, triple axel.
Suddenly having a flashback from 1985, because I used to skate to this music. Very nice triple toe, double toe to open with.
Did you pretend you were James Bond?
Revolutions in the air. To be a triple loop. He had a problem going in. He seemed to be a little over-rotated with the top half of his body and ultimately had to turn it into a double.
For 5 years now, the hometown of Warwick, Quebec, which has a population of 5,000 people, has gotten together annually with a big dinner to help raise money to support Jean-Francois skating.
You know, Debbie, sometimes when you have a triple axel plan in your program and you successfully do it, it's almost like it's such a relief that some of the other elements fall apart.
You mean all of your focus is just on getting the triple axel done?
Exactly.
Very up and down.
Triple total part of that great footwork section. Jean-Francois Hébert showed some great skill. Exactly. That's a very good sign, actually. So keep watching for him. He's got a great future ahead of him.
He has the perfect skating body, scientifically. Compact, well-proportioned, and that's why the triple axel becomes very easy for him.
That's right. He's got a great coordination and a good feel for the edge. You can see he does have a sensitivity for it. Just as time goes on, he'll mature and he'll get into the ice, and everything will fall into place just at the right time.
It's a kind of a lightness, a gentleness, like when he's skating, he almost caresses the ice. He doesn't look like he has to work very hard. I like looking for that in a skater, that beautiful flow and ease with the medium.
It's always a really good sign.
Technical merit mark, fairly decent. Maybe the triple axel was worth it after all.
It always is.
He describes his style as bouncy. He feels very relaxed out there. Artistic impression marks quite good too.
And backstage, Sebastian Britten, knowing that an Olympic berth is on the line. He prepares for his long program tonight. An amazing performance last night. If he can do it twice in a row, he's on his way to Lillehammer. Stay with us.
Presenting some more.
All of the people from Smithers, British Columbia, would be looking on with great favor for Matthew Powers' free skate tonight. He's 21, 7th after the technical program. And, Brian, he's a diamond in the rough.
He certainly is. I've seen Matthew around for quite a long time. And I would say this year is certainly his best year. Things are starting to come together. And you can see that he's put some extra time into the polish. flip, double toe loop. He seems to be back on track after that single loop jump. Triple Stojko. Unique entrance into the double axel jump. It almost looked like he was doing a triple lutz, and a great exit coming out as well.
There aren't many skaters can stand still doing nothing, and you still want to watch them.
It takes a very unique person, and it takes a very mature skater to make that work. And to make that work as well, triple flip jump, right at the end of the program.
Matthew Powers now living in Edmonton with his coaches Cynthia and Jan Omark. He was telling me that he's been really tired this week from doing all the shoveling of all the snow. He lives with them, and he said they've had so many skaters competing here that they haven't been able to shovel the snow, so he had to do it.
Little extra conditioning from Mother Nature.
And the crowd loves him too, 21 years of age. He's got a kind of an intensity. Those special touches show up in technical merit marks, the real appreciation by the judges. When the jumps get consistent, this guy will be someone to reckon with.
You can see that he's actually worked a lot harder this year. Reflects in both marks.
Marks for artistic impression. 5-2, 5-4, 5-3, 5-4, 5-2.
And now here's Rod with a special guest.
Well, thanks, Debbie. We're backstage, actually, just before they get on the rink. 5 men. Kurt Browning is here. Jeffrey Langdon, the teenager. Marcus Kristensen. Elvis Stojko is here. Sebastian Britten. 5 men. 3 spots are getting ready for the warm-up. And as they are, I'm going to try to get a word here with Doug Lee, the coach of Elvis Stojko, as he's getting ready to go on the ice. Doug, it's nuts in here.
It's crazy. It's wild.
Let's talk a little bit. You have 2 skaters from the Mariposa Club in this final flight. One could be a Canadian champion. One could make it to the Olympic team.
You got it. Elvis Stojko, we're looking forward for a terrific evening. The quadruple's in, and Jeffrey Langdon. We'll see in a few minutes.
Do you like your chances here, especially the fact, I mean, everybody talked about the Kurt-Elvis showdown. Now, with Kurt in 4th, it doesn't appear that he has a chance of winning a Canadian title.
Right now, we're just concerned about the great skate. You know, I got to look after the next 6 minutes, so I better run.
What about the quad?
It's in.
The quad is in for Elvis Stojko tonight. So in a moment, we're going to be back with the men's free skate. Watch for the quadruple jump and watch for the final 5 fighting it out for an Olympic berth to Lillehammer.
3.5 minutes left in the 6-minute warm-up. The place is on fire. Kurt Browning getting his legs tested. He's first out of the gate again tonight. A tough draw. And my goodness, the crowd, they are reacting to every jump we're seeing in this building. Do you remember what this was like?
Well, they're certainly getting a show right now. There are 5 really great skaters out there right now. And sometimes this is almost as good as the competition, watching the warm-up, watching Kurt try to get himself together. Elvis is going to be throwing the quad into the warm-up for sure. It's a really exciting time for everyone.
I always feel that when I watch the warm-up, I almost think it's won and lost in the warm-up.
Quite often you can tell. You can see if everybody's got it together. Sebastian Britten, of course, really hoping to make that Olympic team.
And
seems very relaxed.
He's skating right after Kurt Browning. Jeffrey Langdon from the Rideau Lakes Club in Eastern Ontario training with Elvis. A very, very good free skater, and the first time that he's made it into the top group of free skaters.
A terrific experience for him right now.
And Marcus Kristensen, too, from the Royal Glenora Club, but originally from Toronto, training in Edmonton. He's got a jam-packed program, too.
He does, and he's had a taste of the world scene. He wants to be back there again.
And last, but definitely not least, Elvis Stojko. And by the way, from Elvis and Doug Lee, a real big hello to all the people in Barrie, Ontario. We'll be back with the men's free skate. Kurt Browning is the first skater up for the 4.5-minute men's final. Men's order of skate, Kurt Browning, the first one up tonight, followed by Sebastian Britten. Terrifying moment. Back to the order of skate, Sebastian Britten coming up next, followed by Jeffrey Langdon, Marcus Kristensen, and finally, the Terminator, Elvis Stojko. The men finally being called off the ice. Elvis taking his time getting off. The guards. The final moments. I hated this time. Brian, the effects, what's it like to skate first? I remember.
Yeah, I was never real thrilled with skating first, but Kurt's been around long enough. He's skated to every order, and he can deal with every order.
It's a standing ovation even before the music has begun.
Good for him. That is the sign of a true champion. To come back from last night's technical program, he is one happy boy right now.
We'll sweep up a few of the flowers and have Kurt's marks when we return. Browning still had a few terrifying moments during that program. The technical merit marks, though, were fairly decent. And the artistic impression marks up there to a 6.0.
How do you spell relief? With a 6.0.
He moved into first place at this time. But remember, there are still 4 skaters to come. Let's have a look at some of the elements.
This is the triple axel double toe loop combination. Nice flow. It seemed to be a lot more relaxed than the one we saw last night.
He still had to struggle for the landing a teeny bit.
A little trouble on the triple Stojko, and to be a double loop, and he turned it into a single loop.
Better to go for clean.
I think that's what he was thinking tonight. It's a nice, clean performance. Here's the triple flip jump. 3 revolutions in the air. And a bit of a struggle on that as well.
Looks like a lazy free foot. Can't get the leg out.
He seemed to be a little bit over-rotated with the top half of his body.
And waiting for all this hullabaloo to settle down is Sebastian Britten, someone who has not been noted for keeping nerves under control. A little motivation. He's second to Elvis Stojko at this point in the competition. We'll be seeing one of my favorite all-time long programs to Cyrano de Bergerac.
Contrast from last night's program, which was very humorous, very light, real fun, to this program, which is very intense and very serious. A great start with the triple flip double toe loop combination. Triple loop. triple Lutz off the spread eagle, which was invented by my friend Brian Boitano. Triple Lutz, which has to be done in combination. He chose a double toilet. A bit of a struggle on that.
For Sebastian Britten. We'll find out.
The crowd here still buzzing about Kurt Browning. However, this was the scene moments ago as he went backstage, received congratulations from the Canadian women's champion, José Chouinard. Kurt must sit and wait, and so must you. We'll be back.
Sebastian Britten quickly doing mental mathematics to see whether technical merit marks will keep him up in the top three. Artistic impression marks being the tiebreaker in the long program. And with these marks, 5.7s and 5.8s, it looks like Kurt Browning has moved ahead at this point. And there are still 3 skaters to come. Second place marks from all judges, with Kurt having the number 1. Now on the ice, Jeffrey Langdon, 18 years of age, from Smith Falls, Ontario, living in Barrie, and training with Doug Lee.
Of a shaky start with that combination that finishes with the triple loop. Let's see if he can keep it all together. Trouble with that triple axel. Didn't quite go all the way around. was an interesting combination with the triple toe loop and then finishing with a triple loop as well.
senior men's by at least 3 years. An important 3 years. Langdon, who originally took up skating to improve his hockey game, has burst onto the senior scene, but with a rather poor performance tonight.
We'll have Jeffrey's marks in just a moment. And will this man become the new Canadian champion? The story, his story, entering the Dragon and the last stop before Lillehammer in Edmonton tonight.
Langdon would probably like to go back out there and do it again.
This is that interesting combination I thought with a triple toe loop, double toe, and a triple toe loop right here. A little problem in the landing, but what a huge risk to be taking. And had he been successful, that would have been a great feather in his cap.
A lot of timing in that sequence. Technical merit marks, the low fives. And artistic impression in the same range. Jeffrey Langdon will be back next year. So far sitting way down in 5th place to 6th place. I guess 2 skaters still to skate. Marcus Kristensen up next. At this point in the men's event, Kurt Browning is in 1st, Sebastian Britten 2nd, and Jean-François Hébert is in 3rd.
Nice, easy, effortless triplets to start with. triple loop out of some of the other nice, simple edges. It certainly is making the best out of the simplicity.
In this last year, he's gained so much performance quality. Doesn't even look like the same skater.
Now, there's a tremendous maturity. And I think making a trip to the World Championships last year adds a lot to a skater. And he wants to make that Olympic team. Similar problem that Sebastian had on his triple lat double toe loop. Marcus had the same problems as well.
Kristensen should be on the way to Lillehammer. Fabulous skate from a guy who said until a year ago was afraid to skate.
Marcus Kristensen awaiting his fate. Will he go to the Winter Olympic Games? He is on the bubble. So is Sebastian Britten backstage waiting. Only 3 will go. Browning appears to have a spot. Could it be Kristensen, Britten, and of course Elvis Stojko still to skate?
It was right after the kids were born. My skin got red.
Fans will be looking for that music in exhibition, but Marcus Kristensen has got fans by the dozens here in Edmonton.
He had terrific momentum at the end of the program. We started with this combination with the axle, half loop, triple Stojko. There's the half loop. Nice edge into the triple Stojko. 1, 2, 3 revolutions. He had to fight to hang on, but he did.
The sequence jumps become very difficult if the triple jump is not set up first. There's Kurt looking. He doesn't know either. Good technical merit mark. He could move ahead of Kurt.
I think with the triple axles that Kurt did,
yeah, but
and
Kurt
his artistic mark will make the difference.
But Kurt didn't have all the other triple jumps. Artistic impression marks lower than I expected. And right now, we're counting up the ordinals here. A lot of boos from the audience.
He needed 2 more second places from the judges. So close.
This could all change, though, depending on how Elvis skates and how the ordinals from the different judges rank with regards to Sebastian and Marcus Kristensen. Sebastian has just realized he's still in second.
All right, man. An Olympic dream coming true right here.
And this Olympic dream coming to Elvis Stojko. Drawing on his martial arts experience
revolutions in just a few seconds. Preparing for what we hope to be the quadruple toe loop. Watch and count. Oh, shame. Now it's a matter of refocusing and getting back into this program. Difference this year with Alvis. He's spent the year working with Ushi Kessler on his style, and he is skating from his soul, and it's coming right through his feet, right through the edges.
Rod and I were talking during practice. Rod said he's like a volcano that has suddenly erupted, and all this artistry is kind of dripping down the sides.
In a sense, I'm kind of relieved he made a couple of mistakes, because there's always that concern about doing your ultimate performance too soon. He still has a month until the Olympic Games, and you don't want to leave it here. As much as you want to do it for the crowd, it's important to peak at the right time. He's left some room for improvement, and that's very encouraging. Here's the triple axel, triple toe loop. Excellent control in the air. 3.5 revolutions, towing in for 3 more. This is a quadruple toe loop. It happens fast. 4 revolutions, not all the way around and on 2 feet.
He just stretches so high, the head and chin lifting way up in the air. You'll see it on the triple axel. Almost to make his body taller, tighter. See the chin pulling up?
And with perfect control all the way through, and a nice, interesting landing.
A bit of a nail biter, though. Kurt, an excellent free skate. There's been a bit of time between the two. The judges, of course, keep notes about what has gone on in each one of the programs. Technical merit marks very high.
And rightfully so, with the 2 triple axel, the triple axel triple toe loop combination, the triple lutz, which Kurt didn't do.
Marks for artistic impression. Impression artistique.
And what a great breakthrough for Elvis Stojko. These are the highest marks artistically he has ever had.
And there he is, the new senior men's champion of Canada. Not all first, not all across the board.
It was a 5-4 split. Majority wins, and Elvis is the champion of the freestyle and overall.
If you look at the comparison of ordinals, Elvis versus Kurt, you can see how the judges lined up and why the placement ended up the way it did.
And that's exactly what made the difference for me at the Olympics.
One judge.
One judge. That's all it takes.
Someone with probably one of the biggest stories of this event, Sebastian Britten, is with Rod.
That's right, Debbie. Elvis Stojko very happy tonight, but no one is happier than this guy or this team altogether. Sebastian, this is it. Your dream come true.
Yeah, it's quite unbelievable. I worked really hard, and these guys knew that I was gonna do it, but I always had some little doubts, but I guess it's true, and I can't be happier now. Even if I was crying, I'm just very happy.
You've always been able to string together one program that always brought the crowd to its feet at these Canadians. You did it twice. That's what you needed to do.
Yeah, and I did a little, some mistakes, but I guess I did, I'll try the hardest I could, and I guess that was enough.
Who is this for, making the Olympic team, besides Sebastian Britten?
For all my family, my mother, my dad, they're here. I don't know where. I hope I'm going to talk to them soon. And my brothers at home, and my friends. Everybody, they know who they are, and I just thank them a lot. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Je vous aime au bout, j'ai hâte de vous revoir.
Well, you're on your way to Lillehammer. Believe it, the dream comes true.
Yeah, thanks.
Sebastian Britten on his way to Norway. The last stop before Lillehammer, here is the Canadian team. Elvis Stojko, the new Canadian champion. Kurt Browning giving up his title to Elvis, finishing second. Gutsy performance from Kurt. And Sebastian Britten on to his first Olympic Games. Here they are. Torn hearts all over Canada. A lot of people didn't want to see you lose your title, but you come back, and a lot of people would love to see the new king as well. You guys, I'll let you take it away.
Well, it would make everybody happy.
I know. We try our best, I guess. It was tough. It was really tough. You know, we give each other a really good go, and I was watching Kurt on practice. He's been skating great during the week, and you know, it's really tough out there, but you know, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, it was hard for me being here in Edmonton, and I think I added a lot of pressure, and my knees got really nervous. But tonight, the standing ovation before my program actually helped me out, and I'd like to thank Edmonton. I really enjoyed myself, and you deserve a hell of a handshake, man.
And now you are teammates. Canada's strongest team ever heads to Norway. We'll be back to wrap up the night. Elvis and Kurt and the rest after this.